everybody else in the league.
Yeah, and the way LeBron operates is if they lose, it's everyone else's fault.
Yeah.
And then he just ducks out and heads to Miami.
Yeah, and nobody can live up to his standards. He's got to, what was it? He has to play with the, he's got to play with the, was it the All-Star team? How do you put it? We talked about that before.
Oh, yeah, he's never been part of a super team.
The super team, yeah.
All right, except for that, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 championship Miami team, which included Udonis Haslem. It had Zydrunas Ilgauskas, which I know those guys aren't quote-unquote superstars,
right,
but those guys are very important pieces to a super team.
Sure.
Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade. They drafted Mario Chalmers, who hit a game-tying shot in the NCAA championship game to beat Derrick Rose and Memphis way back when.
I guess, yeah. So I guess a really good question, kind of hitting on all this, and I'm, kind of, encouraged to hear what everybody else has to think. What is going to make LeBron happy?
When he can win a championship by himself.
Must be.
There's no doubt that he's the reason they won the championship. Because remember, the championship he won in Cleveland wouldn't have happened if Kyrie Irving hadn't hit that 3-point shot in Game 4.
Right.
They would have been swept.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, maybe they wouldn't have been swept. And it might not have been Game 4. Regardless, Kyrie Irving hit a 3-point shot that was the most important shot in Cleveland Cavaliers history. All right. I feel that LeBron James will not be happy until he can take a team to the NBA Finals without anyone else being a superstar on that team and winning it on his own.
Kind of a hard thing to do.
I'm not saying that I've heard this from him. I'm not saying that he has said this or that anyone around him has said this. Because if I can get contact with LeBron James, I sure wouldn't just be doing a podcast.
Right.
I'd be on radio. I'd be on TV. But LeBron James has the most overinflated ego since Terrell Owens.
Wow.
All right. And Terrell Owens has said some really stupid things. And he said at 44... So you just
knocked him off the top tier for that trophy then, huh?
Yeah. He said at 44 he can still run an NFL 40, which I don't know about that, T.O. Good luck. I don't know about that.
Should be interesting.
Yep. The next guy that's going to be taking the overinflated ego thing is LeVar Ball.
Yeah, he's been doing
a really good job.
Past few months.
He's been doing a really good job.
Yep. Making WWE appearances and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Stirring the pot.
And we'll talk a little bit more about him during our Lonzo Ball update.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's coming up soon. I promise you, it's coming up soon. Anyways.
We never miss out.
LeBron James has probably got the biggest, Napoleonic complex that has ever happened. Because even though he is, 6'10", whatever he is, he probably feels like he's 5'5". And until he reaches that summit and wins that championship on his own, without help from anyone else, he's going to feel like
if
he's got more to prove.
In any case, if, for him, maybe his best shot is just to drop down to the Big 3 series. He'd be half the way there.
Yeah, he would.
Take off 2 players right there for him.
Right.
I don't know. I guess at his age with the money he makes, you think he'd be, remotely happy, but who knows?
Either that or he is completely delusional, thinking that...
I just wish him well. I really hope he irons it out and he reaches wherever he's looking for.
thinking that Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade are not other parts of a super team, thinking that Kyrie Irving and I almost said Andrew Luck, Kevin Love.
Andrew Luck. Wow.
Yeah.
He can hoop too.
Yeah, apparently not with his shoulder though.
Ouch.
But first of all, really quickly, do you not find it ironic that Andrew Luck is going through a shoulder neckish injury, which is the same type of injury that pushed Peyton Manning out for Andrew Luck?
You mean think they stole a page out of that playbook?
It's karma. Anyways, let's get back to basketball. LeBron James, he's a very tough person to crack because I can't tell if he's just so in love with himself that he just believes that no one else can be anywhere near as good as he is. Like I was saying, he doesn't believe that there were other superstars in Miami with him, or there are other superstars in Cleveland with him, or if he's just his own biggest critic.
Yeah. It's his own worst enemy, for the most part. It just sounds. But I mean, what's going to happen even too when he does get to, being that age of retirement? And, he's involved, obviously, somehow in the organization with the NBA. And you have the next breakthrough star. How's he going to feel about that? If somebody starts to, rising to the ranks he once was, how's he going to respond to that? Are we going to hear about him on ESPN?
Pretty poorly, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll be hearing him critique and whatnot. He'll just be, how's he going to handle it? Sit on the sidelines and...
Pretty awfully.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Julian Edelman injury on the TV as we speak. Oh, right there. Non-contact. And then he gets touchdown. Game over. Good night.
And there goes one of my fantasy leagues.
Yep. Well, actually, you also drafted Anquan Bolden.
I did.
Who then retired and now might unretire for the Patriots.
Well, I mean, and how's that? You might be able to keep him. Apparently, probably, right?
Yeah, if that happens, you'd get to keep him on your fantasy team.
I'm glad I didn't drop him then quite yet.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there on the bench. So I want to say, too, because there was another league I did. Now, now we're touching the football again. Where I had drafted Matt Forte from the Jets.
Yeah.
Just for the, it came up. I was down on the clock. I'm like, okay, bench. And come to read that he might not be a Jet as long as they have planned.
Yeah, they might trade him this season.
Well.
Yeah.
So he has a potential of ending up on a winning team, which could be good.
He also has the potential of not seeing the field, depending on the team he goes to.
Please. You don't think he's decent?
I think he's decent. I just think he's old.
Yeah.
But anyways,
He'll probably get a few good targets, anyways.
Let's get into the NFL now. We'll put the old LeBron stop.
Yeah, we've
on this LeBron talk.
We'll have to let that kind of fall and see where it lands with him. So
I asked a question on our Twitter, and I want to hear your take about it, Dan.
You got it.
Which would be worse? Buying a brand new jersey, dropping the $300 to buy a brand new jersey of your favorite team.
I've done that before.
And then the player... Okay, which is worse?
Did you pre-script this from me? Because you knew I did. I've done this at one point.
No. I saw a thing about players changing numbers. So
okay.
Which would be worse? The player either not being on the team right after you bought their jersey,
okay,
or the player changing their number right after you bought the jersey. Which would be worse?
Honestly, I would say the number changing. I've had that experience. I had back in 2008, I went out and I ponied up for the Marshawn Lynch Buffalo Bills jersey, which I think ran about, like you say, you get the good one, the reinforced stitched on-field.
Yeah, it's like $300.
Yeah, pro jersey, home jersey. I think it ran me about $280 back in the day. And, of course, lo and behold, back then, probably was the best player on the team. Doesn't stay in Buffalo, goes to the Seahawks.
I don't know. He wasn't very good with the Bills.
He has some decent breakthrough plays.
J.P. Lossman might have been the best player on that Bills team, which is a joke, but it's true.
There was beast mode, even in Buffalo. I don't didn't amount to much as far as,
J.P. Lossman was the most consistent quarterback the Bills have had since Jim Kelly.
That's you have some merit in that argument. That QB spot is it's a mess for Buffalo, but I guess not to get too off topic yet. Yeah, if I were in that scenario where, like you say, you have the option of the player changing teams or them changing the number, I think changing the number would be the biggest FU going.
I think so too. Everyone that I had asked was like, if they change teams, they're no longer on your team. Well, the argument I have is,
hey, that jersey has value. I mean, that was a drafted jersey, and his career took off.
Right, and I've had people say it, like, when I ask people, like, well, how often does a player change their jersey number? Kobe did it. LeBron did it.
Marshawn did it. He was 24 on Seattle, but it's a little bit irrelevant. He wasn't.
Well, I mean, being on the same team, just changing their number.
Right.
So, like,
right.
your LeBron 6 jersey is useless when he changes his number.
Wasn't it too? What was it? Wasn't Jordan years ago? Wasn't he for like 45 for a little bit on the Bulls?
And then he changed to 23.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, okay, yeah, you get a jersey, and you start out as one, they change it, and then they start taking off. It's like, well, yeah, he wasn't doing great with that number, so yeah, I wouldn't want that.
No. So you and I are on the same page.
Yeah.
Changing the number is more frustrating.
Absolutely.
As a jersey owner.
Especially if you get that number tattooed. Now how are you gonna deal with that?
Just don't get the tattoo.
Yeah.
That's probably the thing.
Why don't we make that a rule of thumb? That we don't encourage any kind of athletic tattoos.
Oh no! If you're dumb enough to do it, I encourage it. Go for it. Be an idiot. Get that tattoo, and then look absolutely stupid when they either get traded or arrested.
I mean, if it's a sports logo, you got a better shot, I think. Unless the team, like, especially you see it in the NBA, they changed names or cities. NFL's not even really that safe anymore either. I mean, you got San Diego.
3 teams in the last 3 years.
Yeah, the LA Rams now, soon to be the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, come on.
I mean,
how frustrating is that?
Pretty frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, how many years you have an established fan base and no more? So,
right. Well,
kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah. All right. So, thank you for your input on that. We're gonna get now to something that's a little more serious.
Yep.
Than being irritated at your favorite player changing their jersey number.
There's a whole season left for that, so.
Yeah. Before we begin, this is probably not going to be the most eloquent phrasing. I just want to make sure everyone listening, all 1.5 of you, know that Dan D'Antoni Sports in no way condones or accepts any form of violence, whether it be adults toward children, domestic violence, or random bar fights, any type of violence. We do not condone, and we find it deplorable. So, with that being said, we're going to talk about Ezekiel Elliott. All right. Ezekiel Elliott's appeal concluded on Thursday, but that doesn't mean that the drama has ended. In fact, it is far from over.
Yep.
Okay. We're just going to run down the whole story really quickly. Kia Roberts was the person that was hired by the NFL a while ago to lead investigations, and she's the one who led the investigation with respect to the Ezekiel Elliott case. She's the only person that the NFL has used to directly speak with Tiffany Thompson, the accuser, about the Ezekiel Elliott domestic violence policy. Tiffany Thompson, according to Kia Roberts, was